they're really far away from Halifax Harbor
Mhm.
and going the wrong way. They're actually heading towards rocks. Quartermaster Robert Thomas was familiar with Halifax and warned that they may be getting too close to shore, but unfortunately no one listens to him.
Oh, great.
Because at 3:15, the Atlantic hits the bottom of those rocks and immediately it takes in a ton of water. That's hull is just like destroyed.
That
my
fast.
Yeah, escape routes were being just congested with people. The waves were just too violent, and as soon as the lifeboats are being lowered down into the water, they're being destroyed
Oh my
and
God.
taking everyone with them.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coast Files, your podcast for ocean mysteries and true crime. I'm Chantel,
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Megan.
and now we have officially started, Megan.
Now we've
Now
started.
you can make the
Oh, yes.
announcements.
Good news, everyone. I was talking to one of our listeners via Instagram, and before I realized that we weren't actually officially doing the podcast, I said more information. So this is Maddie from Vermont. She's a real one. She's awesome.
Hi, Maddie.
Lindsay, you may come across her because you also are on the Instagram feed. And she may be the same person that is on our YouTube, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maddie, if you
I
are, let
don't
me know.
actually. So Megan, you read all our DMs, but I get the notifications, so I see that you're engaging, and I love that. I don't open it because I don't want to mess with your conversations. But I see some of the comments. and I'm
Thank
like,
you.
"Oh,
But
that's
you
so
you definitely
nice."
can. Like, I mean, people are always like, so who is this? I'm like, who do you think it is?
Yes.
So,
well,
Maddie
Who do you
and I-
want it to
listeners,
be?
It is Megan. I
I
mean,
can be anything you want me to be. You just tell me what you
yes.
want. We were chit-chatting, and I think she was reading a book. And anyway, I just said, what if we did like a Coast Files book club?
Yes, I think we have talked
Oh,
about potentially
yeah.
doing
I
that
think we
before.
have also because I was still excited. So I feel like we may have
Yeah.
mentioned that before.
Yes.
So
Yes.
during COVID at the place I used to work at, we had an in-person book club all the time. And then obviously COVID, you can't do that. So it was kind of like someone would like sponsor a book, recommend a book, and then we would do like an email chain where everyone kind of said their thoughts. And, so we can like work on that. Maybe there's a spot on the website. I don't know. But if you're interested in reading any kind of like, think about us and what this podcast has covered, anything in that realm, maybe even outside the
Yes.
realm, just
So
anything.
I would say, anything. But if it is a mystery or spooky or historical water, ocean related, if it's a
Or a
shipwreck.
horror.
Well, I know that we had that tsunami one that was
Yes,
part of
because I think we
yours.
brought up before we should read this together. And I think we
There's
mentioned
been-
fall, so we could start in the fall.
Okay.
Cozy
Yes,
book
okay.
season.
And
Cozy book
fall
season,
fall
yes.
is book time because, Rory goes to Yale and it just all makes sense.
And fall is autumn for anybody who's not from the Americas and calls it what it really is.
People don't call it fall everywhere.
Because the leaves fall.
Oh, last night, Eric and I were watching a true crime doc from Wolfville, Nova Scotia, Chantal Acadia University.
Oh, okay.
And my father, who does not
Mhm.
listen to the show.
Oh, he went to Acadia?
Yeah, he does masters there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, anyway, it was like this case of this guy named Kenley Matheson that went missing in 92 and was never found. We actually still have to finish it. It was like a 5-parter. But they're in Nova Scotia. And why did I even start saying this?
Book.
Fall,
Fall.
Fall.
School.
Oh, so the reason I said it, okay, sorry, was that they kept saying, like, it was around supper time. They kept saying supper. And
Oh,
Eric was like,
aw.
is supper something you guys say? I'm like,
Yes.
is
Yeah.
it something you
Mm.
don't say?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been
Yeah.
here long enough that I guess they always call it dinner. And I'm like, I just always use them interchangeably. But I'm like,
Yeah.
no one says supper here.
So
Is that just
supper
a
Yeah.
Nova Scotia
is
thing?
your evening meal.
Yes.
And dinner can also be lunch. It's context is
But
key. If
I
you
think
say
it really depends who
on where
your
you
family
were.
was that you grew
Yeah.
up with.
Yeah, supper was always dinner. Like,
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. Supper
for
is
me.
dinner. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then, I mean, I've heard some people, no, I guess dinner
But
is
is that
not
a Nova
lunch.
Scotia
growing
thing,
up,
or
we
is
always said
it a
supper.
Canadian thing?
I think it's an East Coast
that's
thing.
I think it's more so East Coast. So
East
do I.
Coast?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like they even say it in. Why do I feel like I've heard them say it on in Minnesota on Wine and Crime that maybe they said
Okay.
something about
Well,
supper
maybe.
before.
That's
I can't
cute.
remember. I could be making
They
that
have the
up, but I
same
know that they have a
accent
lot of the same
Canadians.
idiosyncrasies that we do. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, while you're having supper tonight, think about if you want to join our
Yeah.
book club, where
Mm.
it would be just a bunch of cool people talking about cool books,
Yeah.
and then we'll go
And
from there.
speaking of, Nova Scotia and maritime things, today's story
What?
actually takes us back home to our beloved Nova Scotia.
Are you guys getting sick
Ooh.
of this? Because I'm always I mean, because okay,
Maybe.
tell us if you want us to take a break, but I can't get enough of my home province, so I'm sorry. We feel
I know
comfortable here.
we are trying to branch
We're
out more. The reason I'm doing this is because I was actually just home a couple weeks ago. I went to the site of my story today.
so
So
cool.
I did some on the ground research.
Research.
Boots on the ground reporting.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I had to take advantage.
Okay, I'm stoked.
So this is about the SS Atlantic. Have you heard of it?
It's ringing a bell, a very distant bell.
I feel like you've
Yeah.
mentioned
Distant
it before in
foghorn.
another episode.
A
Just
seagull is screeching.
I probably mentioned it. I was going to cover it before, but then I was like, well, they have a museum there where it happened in Nova Scotia. So I'm like, I'm going to wait so I can go
Mhm.
visit and take pictures and stuff. So,
Okay, I'm stoked to get really sad.
yes, I mean, we'll get there.
We'll get to the
We'll get
sadness
there.
soon enough. Yeah.
Don't worry. So this takes place off the coast of Terrence Bay and Lower Prospect. So specifically
Wow.
a tiny island called Mars Island, which is now called Mosier Island. I keep seeing it different names for it. Anyway, this is south from Halifax to those listening, which is in Nova Scotia, Canada. I will show a map later. Don't worry. So like I said, there's a small museum dedicated there with a little exhibit. So the first photo you'll have actually is from that exhibit. I took a photo of the model of the SS Atlantic.
I love
Mm.
model ships. I can't
Me
tell
too.
you how much.
Fucking love them.
Scale models of literally anything, but especially ships and like
Yes.
cityscapes. Oh my God.
Yes.
Like
Well,
it
then you
gets me off.
I'm going to talk about it later on, but the
Oh,
Maritime Museum of the Atlantic
oh,
has
well,
Love it.
amazing
Lindsay.
ship collection just for everyone listening. I know
Obviously.
you know. I know you know, but
Okay.
for everyone
I
else.
love when they have like the water ones too, where it's
Oh,
like
yes.
I love that so much.
And
There's actually really good ships here at the is it the Modern Art Museum? There's one of the or
Oh.
there's one of them that you can go into, and like one of the areas that you can go into for free has a bunch of ships in it. It's really
Oh.
good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Have
know
to
what? We
look
may
it
have
up,
linked
but
them in the past, but maybe for this episode we will tag and we'll link out the Museum of the North Atlantic and also our
Mhm.
other favorite museum, the Natural History Museum that has Gus the
Mm.
tortoise. So we will link those. If you're ever in Halifax
yes.
and maybe it's kind of an overcast day, which spoiler alert, that's most of the time. You can go to one of these museums and check out these cool
Yes.
exhibits.
It's the
And not
AGO
it's
that has
Maritime
them.
Museum of the
AGO.
Atlantic, not of the North Atlantic.
Lindsay, I
Just
knew I was close. I just
you were
went for it.
close. I'm just saying it now so we don't have to edit it later. We covered
Thank
it.
you.
Okay.
And
You
also,
fail
yes,
as a Nova
the
Scotian, that's
AGO, which
all.
is here in Toronto. I think I've only been to once, and so I must have missed the ships.
Yeah, they have a
Yes.
little
I
ship
missed the
area.
boat.
Oh, there
Oh.
you go. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
All right. So the SS Atlantic was a transatlantic passenger liner built by Harland and Wolff between 1870 and 1871 in Belfast, Northern Ireland for the Oceanic Steam Navigation Company, later known as the White Star Line. Ever heard of it?
Never.
Just a bit.
Not even once.
We're only
So you can
slightly
see
obsessed.
maybe where this goes just
Mhm.
based off how I've started.
God damn it.
Mhm.
So the SS
So what you're
Atlantic.
saying is they're really good at building ships that
Oh,
last
yeah,
a
but
very
that's
long
it.
time.
After they're built, no good.
Yes. This was one of 6 liners built at this time called the Oceanic Line. This was the beginning of the age of the steamship, which I've discussed
Wow.
probably in previous episodes, so it might not be new to
Mhm.
some of you.
That sounds like you.
So, yeah, sail ships, bye, steamships, hi. They're all about their steam ships.
everyone's doing steam now.
Yeah, we're
We love our
steaming now.
coal.
Yeah. Exactly. So the Atlantic itself was actually a hybrid. It had sails and steam because just like having you don't want to run out of coal and
You don't want
be
to run out of
stuck.
steam?
Run a steam.
I mean, that's so literal, though.
I was almost gonna say it, but then
You thought, no, that's
I
too
thought,
lame.
no,
Chantel's like, wait.
I got it.
I'm like, I'm really good at being lame, guys.
Okay, but just
And
imagine
we
seeing
love
a
you.
ship of this size with sails. That would be
Yes.
wild to
Yeah.
see.
The ship had very luxurious accommodations, steam heating, obviously, beautiful
Whoa.
rooms. Think kind of like the Titanic, probably not as fancy as the Titanic, to be honest, for like the first class, but very
Mhm.
nice. Um, they had for steerage passengers, though, the deck was not for you. It was only for the first class. So
Oh,
I
wait.
imagine they had quite
So
cramped
you're not allowed
quarters
to
down
go
there.
out and get fresh air? Like, there's no
No.
deck? What?
There is a deck, but you're not allowed to go on it. It's
I mean, at least
limited
even on the
space.
Titanic, they were allowed in the back.
Yeah. Well, we tried to find it on the model, and they didn't.
No,
put
we
it on the
did.
model.
We did.
The little breezeway.
Yeah,
I
we
think they
did
had
find it.
something they could go on.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. We couldn't figure out how they got to it without going onto the main part of the
Oh,
deck.
sorry,
There
Chantal.
must have
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it was at the very back.
back. Yeah.
So basically,
Just-
all you had to do was sneak up, save a first class lady from jumping, and then you'd get later invited to
Which-
the deck.
Happens
Yes,
a lot,
exactly.
as far
Yeah.
as I know.
Yeah.
So it began service in 1871 with many successful trips across the Atlantic, bringing numerous immigrants across the pond. It had the
Mhm.
ability to carry 160 first class passengers, over 1,000 steerage passengers. It was 420 feet long, almost 60 shacks.
Oh, thank God.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
It's a lot of shacks.
40 feet wide, 5.5 shacks, and over 3,700 tons. Yeah.
She's a skinny
Wow.
one.
She's actually she's big for the time, not the biggest though. And in comparison to the Titanic, it was probably like half the size,
Yeah.
just to put it out there.
Even the coloring, is that like a standard like white star line?
I think they just
Oh,
really
it
like
must
their
have been,
black
yeah.
and red and
Yeah.
Like,
white.
listen, it's sharp. It's just it looks exactly like the Titanic minus the
Minus
To be
smokestacks.
fair, the Titanic
Three
looks like
smokestacks.
this because
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
that's true.
fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
On March 20th, 1873, the SS Atlantic departed on her 19th voyage across the Atlantic, leaving from Liverpool, England, and stopping in Cove, which was then known as Queenstown, Ireland.
Oh,
Fun fact, Cove is spelled Cobh because the Irish have
Gaelic.
BH means V,
Mm.
which is actually just like
Irish.
Maeve, my daughter's name. In Irish,
Mhm.
it's spelled Mebh. But
kind
Oh,
of
I
like
didn't know that.
Siobhan or
Yeah,
Siobhan.
yes, we
Yeah.
gave her the Americanized spelling because we don't want
Fair,
her to
just to
hate her
not
name
confuse people. Yeah.
in America.
Yeah.
If we lived in Ireland, sure, but no.
Yeah, but honestly, even in Canada, like, please just give us the V because we're so far removed from
yeah.
our Gaelic roots
Unless
now.
you
like,
live in Ireland,
Yeah.
don't even think about it. Just spell it the other way. So, on board were approximately 1,000 passengers, 811 passengers, 141 crew. The exact number isn't quite known, but I've seen around 950 people total because there's always some stowaways. And fun fact, 2 babies were born during the trip.
How long was the
Whoa.
trip? What the hell?
It was estimated to be about 9 to 10 days. That's what they planned on from, leaving from
Yeah, I guess if you're
Ireland
close to your
to
due date. Yeah.
New York City. Yeah, you're trying to get over and
Wait,
Where
yes.
are these babies citizens of?
that's a good question. I feel like back then it was a little bit of like Wild West, like wherever you land, you're like,
The Wild
I
West.
live here now. So,
Yeah, I mean, I've read so many historical books where someone's like, and the guy just went to the bank and said, "Well, I've lost my info in a fire." Well, we believe you, sir. Here's a new birth certificate.
Yeah.
And they just
That
do their
reminds
thing.
me of the invention of lying.
I
Did you guys
still
ever see
haven't
that
finished
movie?
that. Yes, it's
Oh.
sad but good. Ricky
Mhm.
Gervais, he can't do
Oh,
anything
mhm,
wrong.
yeah.
If he is ever found to be a bad person, I don't know what he'll do.
Yeah.
let's hope it never comes to that.
It won't.
Yes.
It can't.
Unfortunately, during this trip, they encountered a lot of bad weather. 5 days into the journey, the ship was dealing with very rough seas and gale force winds. I looked up gale force winds because I figure you might ask. And it's sustained winds of 34 to 47 knots. Some people say 28 to 55 knots or 32 to 63 miles per hour. So very strong, constant winds. Not fun.
Yeah, no. Oh, God.
Captain James Williams was in charge, and on March 31st, his chief engineer informed him that the ship only had 127 tons of coal left. And that
Wait,
had
so
started
they-
with
Oh,
Well, no, but we made the joke they're gonna run out of steam.
Well,
steam.
yeah, someone said they're gonna. Yeah, you mentioned coal earlier, Chantel. So
Yeah.
anyway, you're very spot on. I just don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
Uh, they had started with 960 tons, so they're down quite a bit, and
Wow.
they're not there yet.
They're
Why
halfway.
and it was because the winds were going against them, so
Yeah,
causing
just
them to
causing them
have to
to
use
like
more?
really use more
Mm.
fuel to power the ship through
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
terrible like seas and winds. It
Oh
wasn't good.
man.
Um, so Captain Williams had to make a decision, I'm sure one that will haunt him, that had haunted him for the rest of his life. So at 1 p.m. on March 31st, he made the call to head to Halifax because where he was in the ocean, to go to New York, they might not make it on the coal they had. And they probably, even though they had the sails, didn't really want to rely on them in this bad weather. So Halifax was the closest port. It would give them an option to refuel. It seemed like the safer choice,
Totally.
even though it would delay their voyage into New York. But, I think he was thinking safety first, on time,
And
doesn't matter.
it's the late
Yeah.
1800s. Was anything on time ever? Like I can't
Right.
imagine. So just I'd be like, hey, in New York, it's literally down the coast.
Yeah,
It's an extra
babies
2
were being born
days.
already, so it wasn't like rush to get this pregnant lady to a doctor.
A
Like,
hospital, yeah.
yeah, they were.
Well, there had to have been a
fine.
doctor on board. I hope to God, but anyway.
I hope so. um, so they weren't that far from Halifax. They were going to try to make it there instead. All right. So, the crew was told to look out for the Sambro Lighthouse. Have you guys heard of the Sambro
Mhm.
Lighthouse?
Yes. Yeah, I've been to
Okay.
the Sambro Islands before too.
Well, you can look at my
The-
next photo.
Oh,
if
thank
you'd
God. I'm like, I definitely know the name. Oh, that's
Mhm.
pretty.
It's really nice to swim around there, actually.
This
yeah,
looks
it's
so
really
just
beautiful.
quaint. And that house is hella abandoned, by the way.
Oh, we should buy it.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
yes.
we can probably afford it.
Well, maybe
And the
not.
When
lighthouse.
we're old ladies, we have to live in this house by the lighthouse. We just do.
I like it.
okay?
And like cast spells and stuff.
Obviously. We'll be sea witches, so it'll be fine.
Ooh, I love this.
So the Sambro Lighthouse is the oldest surviving lighthouse in North America, built in 1759 by Samuel Kennard. And he was a Haligonian, like
Okay.
us.
Well, Kennard
Mhm.
Street.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's him. He was also the founder of the Kennard Steamship Line, who's the main competitor of the White Star Line. Fun
Oh,
fact.
funny.
Cool.
And they made ships like the Queen Mary, like the haunted one that's docked
Wait.
in LA.
Like they
Ooh.
actually made the Queen Mary.
Yeah, the Kennard Line.
We also need to go to that ship, right? One
Mhm.
day.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's on the list.
Girls
It's
trip.
definitely on the list. That'll be like after Scotland or something.
Yes.
Okay. So during this time, the ship was actually traveling a little faster than probably they realized. And also with all the currents, the ship was moving faster than they probably thought it was as well.
Ruh-roh.
So they're supposed to use something called like this this device that they would throw in the water and essentially let the rope
Oh,
come
like
out and just see how fast they were going because how much rope would be like,
unspooled.
unspooled. Yes. So that's what they were supposed to be doing, but they weren't doing that at the time of this incident. Okay. They also were not checking water depth. So if you remember back to my episode on the Challenger Deep, episode
Mhm.
13, they would use
Wow.
a sounding lead where they would drop it in the water and see
Mhm.
how much rope
Mhm.
it took to get to the bottom.
which
Yeah.
is pretty
So
like
again-
pretty easy to measure.
Exactly. But they weren't really doing any of this either.
So what were they doing? Like were they just
They were just driving really fast. Sailing.
Exactly. So basically they're going probably a little faster. They were a little off course unknowingly. And they were probably not exactly where they thought they were because they're looking for the Sambro Lighthouse. They're not seeing it. If you go to my next photo, you'll see a map. You see Halifax in the top.
Mhm.
And basically for anyone listening, Halifax, you have to go into almost like a big cove to get to the harbor. We're outside of that. We're further down.
Yeah, we're not close to it.
We've overshot the harbor. The Sambro Lighthouse is that star you'll see on my photo.
Okay.
And then that X where I put on the map, that's approximately where we are, the SS Atlantic. So they're
And
looking for the
heading
lighthouse.
towards that light. They're trying to look
Towards the
Sambro
land.
Lighthouse. Okay.
But they think they're further north because they haven't accounted for the fact that these currents have really
Mm.
moved them and that they're going probably faster than they thought.
Mm.
They're probably not as deep as they realized because they haven't
Mm.
checked these things.
Oh,
So
no.
they're really far away from Halifax Harbor
Mhm.
and going the wrong way.
Oh,
They're
great.
actually heading towards rocks, which is not great.
Perfect.
So, Captain Williams had gone to bed at some point and he told his crew to wake him up by 3 a.m. because he figured probably around then we'd be getting closer to Halifax. He wanted to be up and alert and make sure he can oversee this operation. So, um, getting closer to 3:15 a.m. on April 1st, 1873, no one had woken the captain yet. The crew figured, we've got this. We're still far enough out. We don't see any sign of the lighthouse. We're good. The crew is also not very familiar with Halifax Harbor, and that's not a great thing either because Halifax Harbor is very tricky. This is why it was such a
Mhm.
strategic port for like the British during like World War I and well later for Canada during World War I. It's just really tricky to navigate for enemies. It's not
Mhm.
an easy port to go into. There was one officer, second officer, Henry Metcalf, again, he was not seeing the lighthouse. So he was saying, we're going to go full steam ahead. No slowing down. We're far out. Quartermaster Robert Thomas was familiar with Halifax and warned that they may be getting too close to shore, but unfortunately, no one listens to him.
Oh, great.
At 3:14 a.m., they notice rocks. They immediately try to head starboard, so they turn the ship to the left to try to avoid the rocks, and they try to reverse the engine. It is too late because at 3:15, literally a minute later, the Atlantic hits the bottom of those rocks because the water's getting very shallow at this point, and immediately it takes in a ton of water. Its hull is
Oh.
just like destroyed.
That
Oh my
fast.
god.
Yeah. The bow strikes the rocks, and the force of the waves start to move the stern towards the rocks too. So it's beached up on the rocks at this point. The
Jeez
engine is still
Louise.
running in reverse, and the propeller blades are hitting the rocks and getting destroyed too.
Oh
So
my
it's stuck.
god.
It's not going
Imagine how that
anywhere.
Yeah.
sounds.
Yeah, not
Oh,
good.
everyone on board probably immediately woke up and
Because they
was
were wet.
terrified. A
Yeah.
lot of people were, yes. So the crew wakes up any passengers who haven't woken up on their own, I assume. And distress rockets are being fired. So by 3:19 a.m., the stern is already sinking rapidly. It's going underwater. A man on shore named Michael Clancy notices the distress calls. He lives on the island, one of the only few people that live on the actual island that it's struck. It's like kind of just off kind of the main land where there's like a little
Mhm.
fisherman village. So he goes to investigate. Some of the lifeboats are launched with a handful of passengers, but unfortunately, none of these lifeboats would make it to shore, which is crazy, right? It's right there. The waves were just too violent, and as soon as the lifeboats are being lowered down to the water, they're being destroyed and
Oh my
taking everyone with
god.
them. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's
That's fucking
terrifying.
scary.
Yeah. The captain actually ordered to stop doing that, but um, Officer Metcalf took one more boat down with himself on it, and it immediately got destroyed.
Oh, no.
So
What an idiot.
very traumatizing. One of the last distress rockets also misfired and killing the people the officers who were trying to launch it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't. It's so chaotic and so crazy.
Yeah.
And this is
And
where
for
it
Where's the
gets
movie about
1870,
this?
1871, you said?
1873.
73.
1871 was when it was made.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. So it's about to get a little worse. Most of the families were all below decks because it's nighttime. Like they're gonna be sleeping
Mm.
and not coming up. And like I said, not many, only first class had
Yeah,
access
they
to
weren't
the deck
allowed.
anyway.
There's
Right.
1,000 people that aren't allowed to come up there.
Exactly. And I think the lights too went off too. So it would have been like very
Ugh.
dark and chaotic. And a lot of
Yeah.
the escape routes were being just congested with people. So families trapped below deck. Not good. At 3:22 a.m., the Atlantic rotates 30 degrees to the port side and the stern goes under. Passengers are trapped below, mostly women and children, and they all drown.
Holy shit.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Well, most of them are drowned at this point. We have a
Yeah.
couple. the next photo kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. This is actually a still from a video I saw at the SS Atlantic Interpretation Center, but it's on YouTube as well, so I'm going to link it. But you
Okay.
can see the ship's rolled over on its side. The stern
Mhm.
is in the water, and those are the rocks. So there's people trying to get onto the
Damn.
rocks there.
Yeah.
But you see so many people are still waiting on the ship trying to get off.
Yeah.
This is so
So
much scarier going on its side like that versus either
yeah,
going head first or
right.
like some.
Which
Yeah, I feel like this is so much more disorienting.
yeah.
And
Mm.
it's like because now half the ship is underwater immediately. Like, I mean,
Right.
because like so I can't even speak. This is so disturbing.
I can only imagine like the horror being like trapped under there and you know, and it happens so fast too. So it's not like they
Yeah.
really had much time
No, you're saying
to
like
get up.
less than 10 minutes and I mean 3 a.m. is not the middle of the night, but like the middle of the night, nothing is illuminated before they even know
Right.
what's happening. They're literally having water
Yeah.
gush into their rooms and they can't get out and everything's dark. Oh my God.
Yeah. It would have been so
And sorry,
dark.
there were gale force winds. Was there like a storm as well that was happening around this
So I
time?
don't know if it was at this point. It was earlier in their voyage, I think, but
Okay, yeah.
there was really
Right.
rough waters at least at this point.
Mhm.
It wasn't
Probably from that same
like
storm,
you
honestly.
wouldn't like.
Like,
I'm a strong swimmer and I could easily drown probably
oh
here.
yeah, I don't think
No,
It's
but
any of
I'm
us
also
would.
just thinking for like natural light. Like it doesn't, is there
yeah, there wouldn't have
stars? Is there a
Oh.
been.
moon? Is there
Oh,
something
I didn't really see
they
much of
didn't see?
that.
If
And
it's
from
that chaotic offshore storming, I
mhm.
would say that there's probably lots of clouds in the sky.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm
just yeah.
thinking.
So
Yeah,
dark and then dark, which is great.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so pretty dark. Michael Clancy, the man that was living on the island, comes to this point,
God.
sees what's happening, and he starts get to work to help with the rescue mission.
Good man. I
By
would feel so
three,
helpless. Like, what the
oh
hell
my,
do you even
yeah.
do?
I mean,
Mhm.
luckily the town is like fishermen, so they have boats and stuff.
Ropes, nets,
Yeah,
whatever else you could possibly use.
yeah. 3:23 a.m. Crew member named Robert Thomas makes it ashore somehow, and he's able to tell the people on shore what's going on. So people start heading towards the ship. So people on the ship are starting to head towards the bow because, like I said, the stern underwater. They're trying to stay out of
Mhm.
harm's way. Some of the other people are starting to climb the mast of the ship. So Chief Officer Firth was leading others to climb the mast. The last surviving woman was actually in this group. Her name was Rosa Bateman. This is actually something I heard on a podcast. The ship hits the fan. I wanted to hear their episode on it. They're not active anymore, but
That's an
Oh,
awesome
okay.
name.
it's
You've talked about them before because that name is
yeah.
really funny.
I listened to them before for one of my other episodes, just because I just like their take on it, and I'm sad that they're not like actively recording anymore. But anyway, they've found that she was disguising herself as a man, so she was actually part of the crew. And like
Oh.
one of the crew members had later said about her that he's like, I had no idea she could keep up with us, could drink with us. Like, I'm so disappointed she's a woman, but like she was she could hold her own with us. So
Now I just have to address her as a woman and
oh,
like I
I had to
can't hang out with
respect.
her anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And now I love her.
Now I gotta put her back in the
Yeah.
kitchen. Like
Yeah. Now I want to marry her, and it's weird because we're buds. But
But I really
we were
liked him,
bros.
and now my pants are tight, and I'm confused, and I'm mad.
so she had made it off the ship, and apparently she died while trying to help others. So very
Oh my
sad. This is the
God.
last woman
What?
alive.
So all the other
All the women are now dead.
holy
women.
shit.
because they were, I'm assuming, were on like the first ships, the boats that were put into the water, probably.
Probably if they made up
And then
if they made it up to the
if
deck, they would
yeah,
have been. Or they were stuck below with their families.
yeah.
That's
So some
just
people
whoa.
were trying to break through portholes to try to get people from out of the ship. And this is how the ship's only child survivor made it through. So I'm going to talk about him in a minute.
Holy
He's a 12-year-old
crap.
boy that was
Oh
saved from this
wow.
way. 3:25 a.m. The crew had attached ropes from the bow of the ship to the rocks on land. So men were starting to try to take this rope to shore, but some were falling and drowning. Like it was not
Oh.
easy by any means. A lot of people couldn't actually swim
Yeah,
back,
that's
especially back
Mm,
then. Like it wasn't as
I think we've
common that
talked
people
about
could
yeah,
this.
like
swim.
Yeah.
how there's probably like what one in 10 fishermen that can swim, the rest can't, and yet that's their
Yeah.
job, but
I
Yeah.
whatever.
think like the crew members like knew a little more than maybe the average person, but yeah, it just wasn't super common to know how to swim.
I mean, but again, even if you could swim, if you're in like crazy choppy waters, that's not really up to you anymore.
Exactly. You could be the best swimmer ever, and a wave could just
Yeah.
take you out. Like there's no telling. So locals brought their boats over these treacherous, wet rocks to try to save victims, which is incredible. Like, first of
Mhm.
all, I'm tired because it's like 3:30 in the morning. It's cold.
But
It's
I'm like
slippery.
tired.
It is just April 1st. It's not April
Yeah.
Fools. This actually happened. This
Which
is
is also
April
still
1st.
winter, by the way, on the East
Yes.
In
Coast.
Nova
Like it's
Scotia, yeah.
essentially
Yeah.
still winter.
If you go to a beach in Nova Scotia, which I did actually in June, it's so
Cold.
cold that you have to wait for your body to be numb. Like you wait for your feet to numb and then you go
Yeah.
in a little more and you wait
Ah,
for your
summer
legs to
break.
numb. And that's enjoying Nova Scotia beaches. But
Yeah.
once you've
Mhm.
adjusted to the freezing, it's actually quite
Then it's
nice.
great.
Once
Yeah.
all your
Um,
nerves are frozen solid, it's lovely.
exactly.
All your pain is gone.
Not your emotional pain,
Yeah. No, no, no.
but physical pain. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
still crying.
once the pins and needles subside a little and you just let it happen, it's so enjoyable. Everyone goes
Mhm.
swimming. We do have beautiful beaches.
Maybe
They
just
do. They're
like, but like
gorgeous.
literally come like mid-September. Beautiful.
Beautiful. The weather, like, yeah, the last week of August
Yes.
and early September, the
Yeah.
beaches are
Yes.
Best.
amazing.
And
You
then
might actually get
hurricane
a
season
warm.
comes.
Oh yeah. You
Yeah.
might actually get a warm beach though if you time
You
it
Yeah.
just
will.
right.
You
Hmm.
will.
Yeah.
But like June, July, no. You
Yeah.
are so hot, yet the water is so cold. So you just complain about both things at the same time. Anyway,
Yeah.
Lindsay,
Anyways.
continue.
Not when
Okay.
you're a child, though. Like, I was
No.
in that water
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
So the locals in this area were like truly heroes. They were risking themselves to bring survivors ashore. The captain was one of the last to be rescued. But it took they worked really into the next day, like mid-morning. They were still like several hours later working to get people because the ship was kind of on the rocks, so it wasn't sinking anymore
Okay.
really.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many people inside they couldn't get, and they were just trying to get the people from the ship onto the shore, navigating these treacherous waves.
Like they're
So
they're
Yeah.
so close. Like it could have
so close. Like the ship's like on the rocks. It's like right there, but there's still that water you have
There's,
to
yeah,
travel to get there.
so many
And
elements working against them.
yeah, and only some were strong enough swimmers and lucky enough
Mm-hmm.
to make it. So as I had mentioned, the only child to survive out of 189 children was 12-year-old John Hanley. You can go to my next photo. He had been immigrating with his parents from England, and he managed to be rescued. His family, including his parents and his brother, did not make it. So he ended up
Mm-hmm.
going on to live with his relatives in New York, which is that's where they were headed.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's
just
such a
really
little
sad.
gentleman. Like
I
he's the
know.
I
He's very
know.
dapper.
he's in like a
Yeah.
3-piece suit. He looks
He,
way smarter than me, and he's 12.
I know he looks like way, way more mature than 12,
Okay, so
12 year olds.
we'd be at the daycare, and he'd be talking to me about like NASDAQ and stocks, and be like, "I'm
Have
sorry,
you invested
don't you
yet,
like
Megan?
Pokemon? Like, what are you?"
Pokemon. I'm just reading The Great Gatsby right now. Like, what are you
Yeah,
talking about?
That
exactly.
wasn't written yet, Lindsay.
Sorry.
Continuity error.
Pokemon weren't around yet, Megan.
He was, yeah. He was writing that would then later inspire The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, sorry. Lindsay's joke is actually way more close than mine.
But yes, anyway, very sad about him, but I'm glad he survived, the only child.
Mm-hmm.
All in, it's estimated that at least 535 people died that day.
Oh
That's
my
more than half of the
God.
people that were on the ship.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, really sad. For the next few weeks, the victims were taken in by locals in the area, so that they were fed, clothed, taken care of. So the community really seemed to come together in the aftermath to help the victims.
That's
True
wonderful.
Scotian fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the bodies were not claimed, so many are still buried in the area. Many are in
Hmm.
a small community church area called St. Paul's Church. The church itself sadly burned down. It was struck by lightning in the 40s. But my next
Oh,
photo, you can
wow.
see some graves near the old church site.
Oh, that
Mm.
is abandoned.
Well, it's not really because it's right by the heritage center. It's just there was a church there and it burned down, so they kept there's just the
Mhm.
foundation there that's there now.
It's just kind
But
of
it's
Gotcha.
sad,
actually
but
very beautiful to walk
oh,
around, and if you walk around further, well, we'll get to it next. There's a memorial. So others were buried in a mass grave marked by the memorial. You can go to my next photo. Um,
mass graves. Oh my
Mm.
God, that's so
mhm.
sad.
And this was,
1870. That's just so
uh,
long ago, and that's so many
yeah,
people. Wow.
yeah. This was created by the Ismay family, Thomas Henry Ismay, who was the father of J. Bruce Ismay, who was on the Titanic. So
I
that's
was
the
Mhm.
guy
like,
that survived. That everyone was pissed that he got into a lifeboat. But
Mhm.
his family owned the White Star Line, so that's why his family created this memorial.
Listen.
So
such a beautiful
it,
location,
it,
though. I
it
mean, like,
really
it's sad, but
is.
it's such a nice, like, I mean, obviously, anyone that know these people are likely long gone. But if
Mhm.
you did want to go and pay your respects or just, think about what happened there, it's a very just nice spot to go and think and
It was
look.
beautiful. Like I actually went on kind of a rainy, colder day, and it was still gorgeous. I'd like to go back maybe when it's even nicer out, so I could walk around more.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't want to go
Mhm.
too close to rocks and water when it's rainy.
Nope.
um,
Mhm.
and I did have my 3-year-old with me, so got to keep her away from that. But I would like to go back. It is really beautiful, very scenic, and very sad too, just knowing that this happened right off the shore.
It's
So
also incredible too, just like so imagine that this isn't like this memorial isn't there. You look out and you
mhm,
would never know that anything this tragic had happened right off the shore.
right.
Like it,
Mm.
I mean, because I mean, obviously it's a, is it, no, was it a wooden ship made of steel? I imagine, and it just what like got
Yeah, I
destroyed
think it
and
was like a
sank, or
combination. It's funny you asked that because I meant to actually look up exactly the
oh,
materials
sorry.
used. So the hull was actually made of wood, and that would probably explain why it broke so easily too during on the
Mhm.
rocks. It was the worst peacetime disaster on the North Atlantic until the SS La Bonne.
Which we'll also
um,
cover.
we'll cover at some point. Yeah, I did not research that at all. Um, and at its time, it was the worst Canadian maritime disaster until the Empress of Ireland, which we talked about in episode
Talked about
40.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a bummer too.
Mm.
Yes. And it would be the first White Star Line disaster, but unfortunately not the last.
Why? What happened after that one?
No, nothing.
And everybody lived happily ever
Yeah. A
after.
ship no one ever heard about.
No.
So in the aftermath, they found Captain Williams at fault for the disaster for, I guess, not keeping track of the speed,
Yeah.
being
Sure.
asleep,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, I
Um,
mean, not
but
even
it
being
wasn't
Taking
asleep.
a
really,
nap.
Because no, shit
yeah.
was gonna go bad while he was asleep, and he set up the stuff before that. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. I actually think, like, based off what I heard, I think he was trying to make the right decision to go to Halifax.
sure, but just
He didn't account for things because he didn't also know what it was like to sail over there. And like with
maybe talk to
Mhm.
the
Halifax,
guy that literally did it before, and it's like,
that
excuse
could have
me,
been
maybe you
good.
shouldn't. Mm.
No, I think the captain wasn't there when that guy said that. But yeah, I think, in hindsight, obviously it wasn't the best call, but they could have run into problems other places too with this
Hmm.
weather.
Mhm.
I, I don't, I don't know. It doesn't seem like he
Either way, he didn't
was,
put the checks in place to
he didn't put the
start.
checks in place, and he didn't, yeah, he should have just had his team, like, especially if you're approaching a new port, like, you know, they could have woken him up earlier,
Or
but
or or
Mhm.
be cautious and say,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not really sure. Why don't we head away from shore just until we know where we are? because if you've ever been there before, you don't know what
Mhm.
the hell is in front of you. I mean, I know that it's
Don't
probably
go full steam ahead at least. Like,
yeah.
approach a little
Mhm.
more cautiously.
Anywho, we are
Um,
literally
Well, they were
preaching to a
going
man
almost
who
no
has been
steam
dead
ahead, but
forever. So
all right, so if you look at my next photo, this was from a newspaper of the time. The White Star Line was at one point also on the hot seat for being accused of not providing enough coal for the ship to make the voyage in the first place, which was the whole reason they went to Halifax.
mm,
So, yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool image. But you see, like, the ship
yeah.
should be more important than the coal for the money for the
um
coal.
I want to like find this, print it, frame it. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
everything about
For
this.
those that are listening, it's like a man in a suit, but it's a skeleton, and he's holding like a scale
Scale.
with coal
Yeah.
on one side and the ship on the other.
It's
And
dark, and
that's
even
Mhm.
just like the
and he,
topography, like
I don't know why
the
he's holding an arrow,
text.
but he is.
Yeah.
There's probably, you know what, they use so much symbolism back there, and I just
I loved it. And
Mhm.
I
we will
figured you
never
guys
know.
would too. So that's why
I
I just
Yeah.
found a way to
love
put it
this.
in.
Oh, actually, Chantel, do you want another photo for this episode?
Oh God, do I?
I'm gonna send you what I bought off of Etsy. And I know that Etsy has some problems now, but it's not all the creators, it's just the platform. Anyway,
Mhm.
so it's a skeleton drinking a cup of coffee, and it's meant to be like a oh, remember I showed you guys. I showed you and I was like, what color should I order? Remember? Or what color should I print?
Sort of.
Skeleton drinking
Oh,
coffee, print art.
oh,
Don't
well, you'll have
remember.
to re-show
Yeah,
me
we'll put
because
it
I want
in.
to see
I'm just so glad that it stuck with you the way it stuck with me. Okay. Well, it reminds me of that. So long story short, I will find this and I will print this as well.
Yes, you do that. Okay. So you can view a lot of the artifacts in Halifax at the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic that we've already discussed earlier, and the SS Atlantic Interpretation Center, which is at the site. So here are some
Mhm.
photos I took of the exhibits. I want you to both take a look. I'll describe for
Wow.
people listening. But
Is
the
that
first
N
one,
backwards?
yes, I don't know
Oh
why.
my
Okay.
God. Yes, it is.
This was like a life ring from the actual ship that was
Mm.
salvaged. So
Sorry, Chantel. That's so weird. Why?
Yeah, I was
why
like,
is
maybe
the
the
N
picture's in a mirror,
backwards?
and then I was like, wait, the
There
N
must be
is
a
no.
reason,
Huh.
right?
It's
Or
called
unless
Weird.
someone
human
just
error, mistake.
Yeah.
oh,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Also, Belfast should be a capital B. Come on,
I
people.
know, but they have a capital L.
Yeah,
I
but
very
but
guess
it's
weird.
to tell the
small.
difference between an I and an
It's like they
L.
had
I don't know.
like, I know, only like sticker letters and that were
Yeah.
back. They just had to make it work.
Can I go to the next one?
Yes, you can. So the
What
next
are all
one
these?
is some artifacts that divers have found from the site,
Oh,
which we'll talk about in
wow.
a sec.
That must be a dangerous diving spot just based on like the rocks and waves and
Well, it can be, but
Currents.
it's also quite accessible because it's not deep.
oh yeah, I
Mm.
guess yeah, because the
It
boat
just
was
depends on the
like held up by
day.
the rocks. Okay, yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess if it's not storming, it's actually a great spot. But bad weather, shallow rocks equals bad.
Yes.
Is this
So
a compass? Sorry, I went to the next one. Am I
um
allowed to?
Oh,
oh, uh yes. Well, you can go to the next one, sure.
I see.
Let's do
I see a
This isn't a
porthole.
compass, it's a porthole. Yes. It's a
Oh.
porthole from the ship. And then some of the rigging stuff is on the side.
Wow,
So
Mm.
that
pretty
porthole is
Oh
in
yeah.
pretty good condition,
Yeah.
especially
right.
compared to the other two pieces that are like severely corroded, especially the
Yeah.
pulley system there. But the
Yeah.
porthole looks like really good still.
Well, some
Scary
stuff
because the
was brought
glass is
up probably
all
a long time
corroded.
ago, whereas other stuff was brought up maybe more
Later.
That's
recently.
fair.
Mm.
So,
And this is quite large compared to the other pieces, so it was probably
yeah,
seen first and then brought up first.
Mm.
exactly. The next photo is a White Star Line flag. So this was
That's
actually
Mhm.
donated
crazy.
by the great grandson of Captain Williams. So he had this
Wow.
flag. So I don't know if it was on the SS Atlantic, but it was on those
Let's
ships at
just
that
Okay.
time.
say let's just say that it
We'll
was.
say
That would
it
be
was.
cooler.
It
But it
might have
is
been
still
on
of
it
that
at one point and
time.
been replaced.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, where our flag go? I stole it.
It's the oldest White Star Line flag that they know of. So
Oh
Okay.
it's
wow.
very old. Yeah. It says there's a sign underneath that says, please do not touch. So
Yeah.
which, you
It
know,
will
we have to tell
disintegrate.
you.
I know someone did obviously touched it before. So
I mean,
Yeah.
how many times have you seen like people sit on exhibits in museums or like and just fuck with art and they break it? So yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God, that
yeah.
happened not too long ago. That chair.
yes, that's
Yes,
exactly
the
what I
Van
was.
Gogh
Yes.
chair or
The Van
something.
Gogh
It was like
chair. Yeah.
covered with diamonds or something. Is
Yeah.
Some
that
kind
it?
of crystally,
Oh my
sparkly, and then there
gosh.
was the other one where the
I think it was
night
covered in
guard.
Swarovski crystals or something like
Yes,
Yeah,
that.
like
you're
it was
right.
that's
Yeah.
a chair.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Then remember the one where the guy got a job as a night guard and drew faces on like a priceless work of art. Like, what are you doing?
I'm like,
Anyway,
I hate
don't
when
touch the
people
flag.
don't mess with the art. Don't mess
I'm
with the
such a
old
rule
stuff.
follower for most things, and this is one.
This is
mhm.
one, yes. The next photo is the anchor. So this is
Oh,
all
wow.
from these ones are from the
That looks like it's made of
Interpretation
wood.
Center.
That's what I was gonna say.
It looks
does.
it's iron.
Oh, yeah.
So there
Yeah.
was some little bitey.
I don't think you
no-
can make an anchor out of wood because it
No,
would
you
float.
can't. I'm just saying it looks like it's made
Oh,
out of
okay.
wood. Like,
Why does this
no, I
anchor
don't think it
suck
looks-
so bad? It's keep
breaking.
floating.
I keep
It's the
making
worst
new
anchor
ones.
ever.
Oh,
I
wait,
made it out
Chantel.
of like life jackets. And
Remember
floaties.
how
I don't know
you
what's
have
happening.
a glass business when the Halifax explosion blew out all the glass.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you were like
Yeah.
discount
Yes.
glass, and my
Yeah.
wooden anchors that float and break every time you use them.
But they're on
The
sale.
unstoppable. My next photo is just a segment of a giant newspaper clipping that I found there.
That's a lot of
it's
R's.
Terrible. I know. So 3 hours.
Do
You know it's
you
terrible.
think that was on purpose?
No, again,
I think it was a typo.
accident.
I think, yeah. But they're like, but we printed it already. Like,
Yeah.
It's too late.
They already printed 100 copies. They're like, we can't.
I will read it quickly. Terrible shipwreck.
Wait, Lindsay, no.
Oh.
Say it in a newspaper voice.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Please.
Oh my God. Like how on the spot here.
You can't make her do it out on the spot.
Terrible
You try.
shipwreck. Loss of life.
Oh.
Loss of the steamship Atlantic at Prospect. The greatest marine disaster of the century. Over 600 lives lost. No women or children saved. Heart-rending scenes. Narrative of survivors. One of the most terrible marine disasters that has ever occurred on our coast happened yesterday morning at 3 o'clock at Mars Head near the entrance to Prospect Harbor and distant only about 22 miles from Halifax. Nothing in the annals of shipwrecks has ever been recorded of late years to equal in melancholy interest the fearful loss of life by this terrible disaster.
That
Thank
was
you.
beautiful. I love
I tried.
that.
I'm only wondering, not even one drink in. So
I really like how it also says disaster o' the century.
yes.
Wait.
They're so fancy to like, like,
Right?
It's like
It sounds very sailor.
They're trying to be like, sailor.
Oh,
It says
sorry,
the,
yes.
the greatest
Shakespeare.
marine disaster o' the century.
My brain put in the F. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even see that.
Yeah.
No one writes like that anymore. And also they
Yes.
use like 18 different fonts for this
Yeah.
one little section.
Well,
And this is all hand done. Imagine how much
Right.
time that took. And there's like more fonts. We
you
need
know
more.
what? Whoever
more.
wrote this understood the assignment.
More
because
R's.
I
more
got the
R's
sense,
in every word.
I got the sense that this was not good, perilous, very tragic. So
Yes.
kudos to the writer. But yeah, this whole article went into depth about the whole thing. I could share it with you guys for the blog.
Yes, please.
So final note for today. So being so close to shore, you can actually dive to the site. Unfortunately, the ship is not in ship shape. There we go.
You remembered the pun. You did it.
You have my next photo. So basically, after it sank, it kind of just went on its side, and it actually rolled
Oh.
down the underwater like cliff.
I'm
wow.
sorry, just the visual of all of those poor people
Yes.
trapped in that boat as it.
Mhm.
This also
Well,
reminds
I mean,
me.
they would have been. They would have been long
no,
gone.
but
by the
like
time it
guys, the
rolled.
visual is just so disturbing. Have you seen the new Mission Impossible movie?
No.
It's really good. This scene comes back, but it's a
Oh.
sub. It's
Okay.
really good.
Okay, I know Eric wants to watch it, so we will.
Tell him that it's a good one. I liked it.
I think that we just watched the one just before it.
Oh,
I know there's
also
something
really
about
good.
the submarine in that one too, right? Or
I
maybe
can't-
I did watch the newer one. I know there's something about a sub. I've seen a submarine in it.
Well, that is in
Oh.
the second one, but
in Russia, and then they're like Vadim laughs at the accents.
Oh, okay.
They're not in Russia, but Russians, they're always involved.
Yeah.
Anyway, this
Okay.
so we're gonna post all these as we always do.
Yeah, you
Um,
can't have a secret mission and not have the Russians involved.
Of
So
course.
they're
obviously.
Of
gonna be
course.
there.
Is this really how deep like it goes just off the
Yeah. How
shore?
deep is this?
So the dive site I saw anywhere between like I think like 8 to like 80 feet. So there's probably stuff
Okay.
that goes down quite
Mm-hmm.
far. So the first position was at the time of the accident. A few weeks later it rolled to the second position, which was kind of on its side further down, like maybe, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a few meters, something like that. Then it rolled even further down by October of the same year. So that's where it's kind of sliding down this big ledge.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's finally at the bottom. And there's only a few pieces of it left, like the boilers, because the ship was made of wood. So it disintegrated over time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, a lot of the stuff had been retrieved earlier on. So some of the stuff that looks in better condition that was retrieved probably like they did some diving in 1873 to try to retrieve some of the bodies and the
Would this be
belongings.
like a diving bell situation? Like
It
how would you dive in 1873? Like
Well,
how were
it's
you?
not
Um.
I'm not sure, but it wasn't, like, crazy deep, but
So you think maybe just like a free, like just free
So they
diving?
had 1873. They had diving suits, but they look
Mhm.
Yes,
like
yes,
1873 diving suits.
like
I'm looking at a
creepy
photo
as
right
hell.
now. Yeah.
And a
Like
lot of
with
them,
the big
like,
hose to the yeah. So
when the
that's
weather was better, considering it was at this top part in the
yeah,
beginning for a few weeks,
it's
they
not that
were
bad.
probably it was at the surface, basically.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
true. Oh yeah,
So
I
the
guess
stuff
they
they
could go
woulda
on the boat.
got
Yeah.
right, so it was a lot of between in April, um, and then by October, it had gone down further, so, um
Damn.
that's kind of like the last dive they did in that year. So people can dive to it today. There honestly isn't a lot to see because it is so disintegrated. It doesn't really look like a ship anymore, but you can dive
Hmm.
to it. A lot of people have retrieved probably anything of, noteworthiness,
Yeah.
I guess,
Hmm.
at this point. But it is possible to go there and dive. So um,
That'd be
obviously
cool.
be careful.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys can dive and then tell me what you've seen because I will
Yes.
not. I'll have a
I,
nice cup of
I
coffee
mean,
and
I
I'll be at
would
the
not be
memorial or the
like,
graveyard.
but like, I think it would just be, I don't know. I'd be interested in some ways,
You know what we
but
should do?
there's not a
Rent a
lot to
boat,
see.
call James Cameron,
Yes, obviously.
and get
Mhm.
Alvin. Now
Come on,
this is
speed
like what
dial.
this is like 30 years ago. Maybe there's a different Alvin, Alvin Jr. And just go down there, the little robot, and see what's there. I would do that, but I don't want to like go in the water myself.
Chantal does. I can tell.
Yeah.
I know, I know,
She's
I know.
already in the water.
So
She's
she can
left.
hold on to Alvin the robot, and he can
There we
help
go.
Yeah.
propel
There we
her
go. He
down.
can pull me. He can propel me around, so I
Yep.
don't have to use as much energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you have
Yeah.
lots of treasure hunting to get, right?
Yes. Even though there's probably not, like she said, a lot of treasure.
Yeah.
So
Right.
This
Yeah.
is freaking sad, man. It's
I think
just
at
oh
the
my
top
god.
it is only like 80 feet deep. So yeah, if you are an experienced diver, you could definitely do it. And I
don't.
don't think there's any restrictions really. Just obviously like probably don't take things because I don't just
Don't
respectful
touch
of
the flag.
I mean
Please don't take pieces of the ship anymore.
yeah, so that stuff and donate some money to the SS Atlantic Interpretation Center because it's
I will
all
do
run
that.
on donations.
We're gonna have that link in our Instagram bio for the week that this
Yes,
episode
if you
comes
want to
out.
donate to them, that would be awesome. So
I have $20 kicking around in my wallet that I can put towards this.
yeah, I actually bought you both something at the center. So I mean, I'll bring it when I come
Aw.
visit you. So yeah, I
mm.
supported them and also supported my friends.
Yes, I like this.
Is it a giant porthole? Is that what you bought me?
Obviously, that was the only
Yeah.
thing they had for sale.
Did you
So
steal the flag for Chantel? I saw how she
uh,
was looking at it.
I know I had to get it
I
for her.
would want to touch it.
I know
won't
you would.
lie.
Yeah.
I would have to read that sign to myself over and over and over again.
Yeah, I would just like we just like
Don't.
bear hug you when you go near it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You should do that.
It's insane to think that this happened like 1873. That just seems so long ago. It's just I
It
I
was,
I always try
but
to imagine the scene back before. I mean, even now that area, it's not like it's a city by means. It's still very much like small little villages on the side
mhm.
of the road. But it's just world was so much more simple, and for
Yeah.
this to happen, it just it must have blown their minds.
Well, being there, it actually still like obviously it's probably changed a lot, but it does still seem like a very small, quaint little fishing town. So
That's
it
95%
is
of our
very
province, right?
similar, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is very similar to probably how it was then. So that kind of made it you to your point, Megan. And when I was there, it just really did seem like, oh, this was that long ago. Like
Yeah.
it's
But
kind of
also
crazy.
kind of like I said, but you can, nothing really has changed. So then it's almost
Hmm.
easy to imagine it happening fresh.
Yeah,
Oh, time doesn't
Mm.
make any sense.
yeah. Just sorry for a sad one. Like the fact that none of the children and like
Yeah, that's
One
that
child
really,
and no women, but
yeah,
still like half of everyone on board
and knowing
died
that there
and
was like
so close to
newborns.
shore. Oh my God,
yeah.
Chantel, I just
Oh,
remembered.
Oh,
I know.
sorry.
You just started your
Oh,
life,
Mm-hmm.
and you were supposed to be in this new place with your family. Like,
oh my God, there was
Yeah.
2 newborn babies.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
It's really sad.
Holy crap. Thanks a lot for making me remember what Lindsay just told me.
No problem. I'm always here to bring
Yeah.
the mood down.
Okay. And I have
Clearly.
nothing else fun to add. I was trying to end on the fun, exciting diving stuff,
And then we just take it
but
back.
we took it
Sorry.
right back. So
And then we do that thing where we like wrap it up and we talk about all the sad stuff again. Yeah,
Mm.
no,
I
we're really
will
good
just
at that.
say as a final note that I mentioned earlier, there is a YouTube video I'm going to link. This video
Mm.
was playing at the center. It's on YouTube, though. It just gives you a timeline of everything that happened. So if you're really curious of watching it, and it has like that visual element too, because back then they didn't have like, there are some like photos the next day, I guess, which just kind of look like the image I showed you earlier,
Mm-hmm.
where it's up against the rocks. But yeah, that's why the newspapers did so many drawings and stuff too. That's why it's so wordy, because they didn't really have like photos and stuff to put in them
Mm-hmm.
like they do today. So it's just a good visual to take a look at.
I honestly like think that this would make such a crazy movie too, just in
Yeah,
general,
you
to
could
have like
definitely.
a Hollywood movie about this. Just everything that they had to go through throughout that time to try and save what
Yeah.
people they could save. Like
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I think
And
so too.
also, I mean, you would imagine, okay, now people are coming to help us, but
Smashing in
you weren't out
portholes
of
to
the
try and
woods
save
yet
people.
because those
Yeah.
people died. Or imagine like you think you're about to be saved.
Yeah, you got
You're in
on
a
a
lifeboat.
lifeboat, and
Yeah.
Oh
as
my
soon as you hit the
God.
water, and like your boat's just destroyed, and it's like even if you can swim, like
Yeah.
how do you
And again, you're
get
so
yourself
close to
up?
shore. Like so you would have that sense of, okay, this looks bad, but look how
Mm-hmm.
close we are to shore. And that
Mm-hmm.
didn't matter. We're gonna have to call James.
Yeah. We
Yes.
need to get James on the line now.
Yeah. Well, we have him on
He's
speed dial, obviously.
we
Obviously.
we would like some of the money though from however
Just
much
a
money this
little,
makes.
like
Just
whatever
a
you
little.
think is
Yeah,
fair.
1%. 1%, it's fine.
Maybe two.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, and also I would like to have a say on the script and casting.
Yeah.
I would like to.
We're really adding to the list now. And
Because
we'd like to serve clam chowder.
Yeah.
only the special
We got some
clam
special
chowder.
clam chowder for you there,
Yeah.
James.
You
If
probably
you
won't
don't
eat any
know,
clam
listen to
chowder from Nova
episode
Scotia again.
number of the
I don't know. We
one.
don't
Like
number them when we put them out,
5
but yeah.
episodes ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. If you see one and it has Titanic,
Titanic
plus clam
lunch.
chowder, that's
Yeah.
it.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's the one. Lindsay, this was great. I also love that element that you were physically there, and I'm sure it made
Mhm.
writing this, like when I did the haunted lighthouse, just being there and you have read about it makes it so much more intense.
Yeah. It was really cool to be there and see a lot of the artifacts they had. And yeah,
Wow.
it was pretty.
So
sad.
donate to our podcast. We can do more of these boots on the ground researching
That's
right.
stories. Like I mean, Italy has lots of water, so
Oh, of course, you put Italy in there.
Greece has lots of water.
Scotland has
Scotland.
lots of water.
Scotland has they have the most
We can
water.
investigate the Loch Ness monster in person.
Yes, of course.
The
we
truth
need
is
to.
out there.
The truth.
Also, it's a magical Leopleurodon. Everyone knows this.
Everybody. Leopleurodon, Charlie.
Well, don't spoil it, Megan. I'm trying to...
No, I mean, like, this is common knowledge.
Yeah,
We're gonna keep doing that thing where we are friends and we keep talking.
okay.
But
Let's
okay.
go.
Awesome episode. I'm sad, but I'm educated. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for
So
listening.
thanks. Yeah.
Yes, thanks
And
for
we'll
listening.
get back to you guys about a book club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. We loved having you. If you liked the episode, share with your friends, family, or anyone who would enjoy it. Also, take a moment to review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leaving us a like or comment really helps. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, please visit our coffee page at www.ko-fi.com/coastfiles. Email us at coastfilespod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at coastfilespod, or visit our website at www.coastfiles.com. You can find the sources for today's episode on our website. See you next week with a new episode.